So, namaste and welcome to our Spanish Satsang here. And we'll start by reading some questions that have been sent in from some of our Spanish community, translated into English for me. So we have a couple of questions to get through and to answer, and then I'll open it up here for anyone with questions. Priority will be given to those who need translation first. So we have Pilar and Olga helping today again with our translation. So Becky, I think, is going to read the questions for me. So whenever you're ready, Becky, thank you.
I'm ready, Helen.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Mrs. Helen. Blessings. Thank you for your kindness and love in your teaching. My question is, within the great mystery of the universe, accepting that we are pure consciousness, that we are one, but that somehow we are like drops of a great sea, are we a project of love where the being every day bathes us with its grace to create the human being, where heaven joined the earth?
It's very, very beautifully said and expressed. And yeah, where the we could say we are where the spirit or the consciousness meets the form, where the human and the beingness meet together, or when the human realizes its divine essence, that there is no difference really between heaven and earth in this context. And then we come to create then a sense of heaven on earth as we each wake up to our each drop in the great sea, as you expressed it so well, sees clearly their own source, their own real nature is this great love, this great consciousness, this divine presence. Then heaven and earth can really be experienced as the same thing. It's not something we have to wait until we die for. It's not something that we have to wait until the body's gone to experience. We can experience who we really are, even while still in the body. And that realization brings deep peace and allows this love that we are to flow in and as our life, as our existence. So, yeah, somehow this one being has imagined itself to be a whole vast number of little beings, separate and alone. And it's just realizing itself to be infinite and not changed at all from its original essence. Divine love appearing as a human being, divine love appearing as something moving and changing and growing, but not really that, just appearing to be. No distance remains then between you and that grace. You are that grace then that you're showering your own mind and body with in awakening. Really, really quite beautiful. Thank you so much for expressing that. Thanks, Becky, when you're ready.
I feel a peace inside me that clashes against a resignation of not generating my economic resources. The question would be, how do I generate economic resources in my day-to-day life? Thank you.
So, for me, this was on my own journey very much the same thing that seemed to disturb my peace. I seemed to need something, seemed to need money. And no matter what I tried to do to change that situation, it never really worked out. And as my awakening deepened, the financial situation seemed to get worse, even not better. So I had to look at this on a few levels. The old sense of, excuse me, the sense of being a someone, a separate being, had left me with a sense of feeling not good enough. And because of this sense of being unworthy of abundance, I couldn't let it into my life. So I had to first really contemplate, to question, is that true that I'm not good enough, not worthy of anything I feel I need? And come to deeply see that that was never true. As we were just saying, we are that divine essence of love already, imagining itself to be a human being, taking that shape, but never really an actual, only a human being. So much more. So once I had proved to myself through consistent contemplation, and there are lots of videos on the YouTube channels about contemplation, how to work with a question. So if you need help, please just ask or check those out. Then the only other thing that I had to belief that I had to break through was that I was separate to the thing that I needed. I thought that money was something I had to earn or receive or accumulate. I had to get it from outside in. And this idea was okay as a separate being, but as I really began to understand who I actually am, this idea became very problematic. I had to really look and see, am I separate to the resources that I need? Anything I think I need or want, the more I feel separate to it, that I have to get it, do something to get it, then the worse I'm going to feel, and the less it's going to actually flow, whether that's money, time that I need, resources, energy, even awakening, if I feel separate to it. So asking this question, am I really separate to the money? Do I have to get it? Because that idea puts an imaginary separation between me and the money, and it couldn't flow. I had to come to see that money is just another way that I am appearing. I'm appearing as this body, all these bodies, the furniture in the room, money, time, everything, thoughts, emotions, experiences. So you can do that one of two ways, either by, like we say, asking that question for 30 days. Am I really separate to money? As you realize that you are money and that you are infinite, then you are infinite supply. You can't run out of something unless you believe you're separate to it. So I had to really burst through this belief. Or you can ask, if you prefer, what really is money? And just staying with that for 30 days. Staying with that question, no matter what answer comes, as good in whatever answer, whether it's emotional or thoughts or a realization, just staying with that question until the money really is beginning to flow in your life. You come to a seeing with that question that that money is just another way that you're showing up. It's empty and formless too. And at least in English, the word currency means to flow. It's a current, like a river, a stream, and it can't flow while we think it's a solid thing, while we think it's a real solid thing. It's actually an energy, and then even before that, it's totally formless, not even a vibration yet, except our energy, our believing it to be so, makes it so. So I hope that helps. Checking out any emotions that come up around this, seeing that the lack of money is a reflection of that emotion and the idea behind that emotion. So, sense of shame about having not enough money for me. Actually, it was the shame and this belief I don't deserve abundance, I don't deserve the good things in life that I had to question. And then just checking out if you still feel separate to money. A lot of us do, because we've had this programming that we have to earn it. save it, receive it, spend it. All these are ways of being in separation with money itself. So thank you, Becky, when you're ready.
Hello, Helen. Good morning from Venezuela. Immensely grateful, many years of searching, and 3 months ago I found you, and you are a light at the end of the tunnel. My question is, I was listening to one of your meditation videos and I got confused. When I close my eyes to see space, context, awareness, there are many moments when I get blocked and I only see the darkness of my eyelids, black, all black, and I feel that the only way to find the infinite and the intangible of space or awareness is to imagine it, as I see everything black. So I start to imagine that vastness since I can't see it as such. I heard in a video also that one of the students, when doing her meditation together with you, she explained that she saw a universe. She saw stars, shining stars, etc., and that she was one with all of that. Is this possible, or is it imagination? Does imagination play a role in the recognition of consciousness? I am afraid that I'm not doing it right, and this is going to slow me down more. Thank you, Helen, and all your beautiful team.
Thank you. So when we close our eyes, but let me address the last bit of your question first. Imagination here has no role. We're looking for a direct recognition. Imagination is beautiful, but not needed here. So you've put the example here. I see only the dark of my eyelids, black, all black. So we could close our eyes right now, and I can see that I can't see. I can see my closed eyelids. Maybe everyone can do this if you want to follow along with this. So with our eyes closed, you can see your closed eyelids, that you can't see anything externally, right? And that which knows that your eyelids are closed, that which knows or is aware that you can't see anything, is what you're looking for. So this formless awareness, nothingness, emptiness, consciousness, we just call it I. You say, I only see the dark of my eyelids. So taking attention away from the eyelids and putting it on that which knows that the eyes are closed. That is what we're looking for. You can see that there is something about you that knows, that is aware, that recognizes, that watches the eyes when the eyes are open, like now when I'm talking. I know my eyes are open and I know my eyes are closed. The I that knows it, when we bring attention to that, it's not substantial at all. It's intangible, this I. If your body was too hot, this same I would know, right? But when we look for this I, we can't find it. You can also do another simple one. You can put your hands together, rub your hands together. Something knows the sensation, right? Something can feel the sensation between your two hands. Something sees, something knows, something watches. That's why we often call it awareness. It's aware. Even if your feet on the floor right now, or the chair that you're sitting in, there's consciousness of that sensation. Consciousness knows. And you've just called it I here. I only see. I only see. 3 words. If you just stop there, and I'm reading from what you sent in, I only see. All you can do is see. You know, you see, you're aware of whether you're The body is moving or still. Anything at all that happens to your body or mind, if a thought pops up, excuse me, if a thought pops up, you know it, right? You see it. You can tell me whether your mind is empty or if there's a thought going on at the moment. So we're just bringing attention away from what we see, the eyelids, the thought, the hands, the sensation, and towards that which is seeing, being curious about that. It's not actually a person. It's not actually a someone. It's not tangible at all, actually. So that which sees, the eyes are open or closed, bringing attention to that over and over again. This is what we're looking for. This is what all the sages are talking about. And yet it's so ordinary. At first, it seems very ordinary that we overlook it. Even if you were to use your imagination to imagine vastness, this same eye, awareness eye, consciousness eye, would still see it. It would still see whatever's imagined, the seer, you, would see it. There is no experience that happens without you here to see it. So, using these hopefully simple examples and the beautiful one that you expressed here, just recognizing, even to look at your hand, you can say, I see a hand. The hand we know, it's physical and tangible. What about the one who sees it? Really putting some curiosity. What is that that sees? Is it a person like we have thought, an object? Can you say where it is and where it isn't? When I looked, I was really shocked the first time. I didn't find Helen, a person, that I was sure this eye was a person. My mind, my thoughts, my body, my suffering, all of that seemingly was happening to a someone sitting inside this body. When I actually looked at who was looking and not at what was seen, I looked at who was looking. There was no thing at all, no substance to me, totally intangible, pure consciousness, presence, awareness, all words for this thing that we can't really describe, this version of you. But because it's always been here, we overlook it every time. We all do. I did. And I remember being really shocked and also disappointed at the same time that this had always been here. This couldn't be it, I said, right? This doesn't feel blissful. It's just something that's seeing, doesn't feel peaceful. But as I kept looking at it, looking at myself, seeing the seeing, something really profound started to change. So, what is it that sees whether the eyes are open or closed? And we skip right past it every time. We just say, I know. I know my eyes are closed. I know my eyes are open. But if we will slow down and look at this eye, can you find it? Can you find yourself? Are you an object or not? And from here, there's a great discovery begins to unfold. You even see imagination, even if you were to imagine. You're the one watching. You are the watcher. And you're not at all what you have thought you were. And when we're ready to see it, it's a great relief and sometimes a shock. So I hope that helps. Thanks, Becky.
Hello, Helen. I ask you, what does it mean when you say to be separate or to feel separate? How can I see the union in everything and everyone? I can't find an answer to this. Thank you for everything.
So, just like the previous question, I would suggest listening to the answer I just gave to the previous question. This essence, who we really are, the formless essence of who we really are, is not limited, does not come to an end. If my body and your body were sitting together in a room across from each other on two sofas, we imagine that there is a place in the middle, perhaps somewhere of the room, where your being ends and mine begins. But when I really looked at this, I couldn't find any place that I stopped and you started. I've tried this with many, many beings, other beings, apparent other beings. And when I really began to investigate, I couldn't even find where I stop and this laptop that I'm using here to do this satsang started. It was just an idea that I was separate to this thing, or separate to my thoughts, even separate to other beings. But as we come to see what this I really is, that it is not an object at all, it doesn't have a size or a shape, we begin to realize that eventually that it encompasses the whole of everything. And you can try this, you can play. Can you find where you stop and a thought begins? You're aware of a thought when it arises in your mind. Or if you imagine for a moment a pink elephant, we can all do this together again. A pink elephant. Let's all imagine and picture a pink elephant. Can you really find, if you really look closely, where you stop and the image begins of the elephant? When I really tried to see where I stopped and the image began, or the thought, or the other being, or even this laptop, when you really want to know, do I actually, is this, where is this place that I stop? You'll find something pretty amazing, because formlessness actually cannot be stopped. It can't be put in a box because it's formless. It doesn't have any shape. Formlessness exists, and it exists everywhere at all times equally, the background of the entire universe. Only a form can stop, can have an edge. My body has an edge. There'd be a gap between my body and your body, but my being, the one inside the body, I couldn't find anywhere that it stops. And I found that it's inside and outside and everywhere. So have a play around with it. See if you can find, like we did with the image of the elephant, or a thought. Next time a thought arises, where are you looking at that thought from? We like to imagine I'm here and a thought is somewhere here. But when I really looked, I found I was inside the thought, around the thought. I couldn't really say, this is where I am. Couldn't really find a location. This is where I'm looking at the thought from. It's interesting just to really dive into this. So hope that helps. I think this is the last one, Becky, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry, I've only got the four. Did you think, is there another one?
Okay, I've got one extra one here. I'll read it out
Oh,
then.
okay.
No worries. Little miscommunication there. No worries. Thank you for reading, Becky. Really appreciate it. Cute second. This one says, Dear Helen, I would like to know what you think about reincarnation. That the form is considered as someone is just an illusion. No one is doing anything, it is just happening. There is therefore no author. no law of karma or cause and effect in that one reality that I am. There is no one who reincarnates. There is no one who does something and has to evolve in another life. Reincarnation is one more belief that has been instilled in us. These dual beliefs come from identification with the body and fear of the cessation of the body's life. Is this what, excuse me, is this what you say? Excuse me, is this what you mean when you say reincarnation is illusory? I send you much love and thank you for guiding me through this life experience. So there is no one who reincarnates. Yeah, so you could say that the one formless being, the one infinite silence, um, imagines itself to be a soul, lots of different souls, energetic forms. And it really believes it is that energetic form and it is separate to all the other souls. And then that soul believes it is having a physical lifetime. It starts to think as a human, it appears as a human body, and it seems to have lots of learning experiences and seems to have a sequence of lifetimes, one after the other, after the other, after the other, in linear time through which the soul is growing and evolving and expanding and releasing beliefs. And in the final lifetime, the soul realizes through the contrast of the changing and moving of the body and the growing and the becomingness of manifestation, it realizes its own source, the formless being, the one silence, and realizes that it was never separate at all to that silence, that consciousness. And in that recognition, it realizes that all its lifetimes have been imagined. It thought it was separate it thought that it emerged out of the one formlessness, this soul. It really thought it was a thing. And then it began to experience having physical bodies come and go. And it believed that it was born, that it lived a lifetime, and that it died each and every time. Then it believed nothing happened for a while, and then another body came, and all of that. But the truth is that all of these lifetimes, including this one, is imaginary. And there's a sense of living a lifetime. It feels to me even still like I'm living a lifetime going through day to day on one level of my being, learning and growing and evolving, and awakening is deepening each day, expressing itself, the one silence, expressing itself as me ever more clearly each and every day, ever more clearly recognized. But there's no longer any capacity to believe that when the body goes, I will go. And there's no longer any capacity to identify as any particular soul either. Really, I am expressing myself as an infinite number of souls, subtle forms that seem to arise out of me in energy, vibration. The first manifestation from the unmanifest silence, consciousness, presence, is this subtle energetic form. And then later it becomes more and more defined and eventually into a physical form. But still, even as a physical form, it is no different than it was originally. It's still always completely, absolutely the infinite one consciousness presence. So the idea of lifetimes is useful for a while, but eventually has to be dropped. And the same set of beliefs, karmic patterns are playing in every single imagined lifetime. And it's only now that we begin to see that we're really infinite and formless and that we can't die. We were never born, that we never really had a body, actually. It's just another appearance in the infinite consciousness. And that all of this seems to be playing out in linear time. It looks sequential, but it really, really isn't. There's only this now moment. And that really the same beliefs transcended in this lifetime are the ones we've been working on since we first imagined ourselves to be a someone. So I hope that helps to explain and to understand reincarnation. It is only really another body coming for the same soul, right? It's going to be easier to think of it that way. Okay, so we will go open it up for questions. I want to give priority first to those that need translation. So perhaps Elaine, if you could just hold on a second and see if anyone else would like to ask something, any of our Spanish community, that would be great. Veronica, yeah.
Es quizás buscar quizás confirmación cuando estoy en las tareas domésticas. Me doy cuenta que la mente está quieta y viene la pregunta, ¿quién está haciendo? Y, y bueno, no hay nadie, hay solo presencia, ¿no? Pero a la vez me venía otra pregunta, pero algo se está haciendo, se está haciendo. Entonces,
Un momentito, por favor.
vale, perdona.
When I am doing tasks at home, there's it feeling there's quietness, and I feel that there's nobody doing it, but at the same time, there's something that is being done.
Entonces, me venía como la pregunta, ¿eso que hace a través, se podría decir, es la inteligencia divina universal? Algo así.
I wanted to ask if that what does through is that kind of divine intelligence.
Yeah, the sense of doing something is happening when we feel that there is a human body present. We feel, we identify with the actions and the movement of that body. When the mind thinks, we think that we're thinking, we're doing, we're moving, we're eating, we're sleeping. All of that is, it seems to be. But eventually you come to recognize that divine intelligence that is formless, has no substance to it. We called it awareness, consciousness, all of those things. And that is shapeless, but it forms itself into the shape of a human being, a human body, and begins to think it's doing things, but it never really is. Even after recognition of that formless, infinite consciousness, still there is a sense of doing something while the body is there for a while. Even for me now, there's a sense I'm talking. There's a sense I'm sitting in a chair. And maybe later a sense that I'm driving, but it's only a sense, and it's very light and playful. And there's no suffering when I don't do what I'm supposed to do or do too much. There's just a lightness there. And that sense of doing will remain until the body drops. And it's helpful even. to organize, I need to be on Satsang at 1 o'clock here in the UK. It's helpful then.
Gracias.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Elaine then, if there's no other hands up right now.
Thank you, Helen.
Hi.
Thank you. Great to see you
Just
again.
ask, it's great to see you again. I just ask you to speak a little slowly so that they can translate for us. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I was wondering if I'm just kind of completely in my imagination when I conjure up contact with my mother, who's been dead for many decades, in order to even reconcile the relationship to, or just connect with her essence, to ask for guidance, to share my experiences. Is that just me just pretending?
No, there's if you are in fact first appearing as all of these infinite we'll call them soul or astral form and subtle energy body, right? Then later as a physical body. Those subtle bodies don't disappear just because the physical body has gone. So nobody really dies. And bodies cease to be inhabited by that subtle energy. But that subtle energy or soul is not missing or absent. The only thing we're coming to see here in awakening is that we're not separate to that, all the other souls or subtle bodies, right? They're all you. The only thing that might change is the idea was before that my mother is separate to me, you know? But and then communication is even easier when you realize that I'm not separate to that person, to that soul. Can you get a sense of it?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Lolis, yeah.
Hola, Helen. Buenos días.
Yes.
Mira, mi pregunta es, a veces te oigo decir en vídeos que hablas de lo invisible, de la ayuda invisible, ¿no? Me gustaría que hablases un poco sobre esa ayuda invisible de la que hablas, que soy
I
yo
would,
realmente, ya lo sé, pero
I would like you to talk about the invisible help I've heard you talking about in your videos.
Yeah, invisible. Do you mean like guidance and help coming from other sources? You mean like when you pray and things like that?
no, simplemente cuando estás en este camino tienes esa ayuda.
No, just when you are in this path, you have that help.
There's many beings who have already realized who they are and left their bodies, no longer in a physical form, that are always available to help, always. And it doesn't matter which teaching or teacher we particularly follow. Any awakened being who taught or any sage who taught in their lifetime will be available to us to help if we will reach out to them. And consciousness is recognizing itself as not being just a physical form. There are subtle forms, as we were just saying, that are available to help us and to be around and give us that guidance. The challenge is that we're not always listening. We're not always open to that help. But it's definitely there. Definitely. There is so much more help than we would ever believe. Even teachers who are still in their physical form are available to help. They're not limited. The teacher is not a physical form. We have a physical form so you can talk to us, but we're not limited by that form at all. So if you reach out to me inside just calling out for help, I'll be there. As soon as you ask the question, there'll be a sense that we're together. We just feel, we identify so much with the form that we think that physical form is the best and only thing. But there are lots of subtle, invisible help there, definitely.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you. Miguel?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Helen. Thank you. Let me see if I can formulate the question because it's a little subtle. I was like in a daily situation, like at work, and I could feel that it was no separation. Let's say, like I was, it was not separation. But then I get distracted, and there is again the idea that somebody is there. So it comes the assumption that I lost it.
Mm.
And even though I know the one talking is not the one, I cannot help it to feel that I lost it, because the sensation is that I went from a state of being one with things to a state of not being one with things. So that really happened. Then there is the judgment, of course. Oh, you lost it. Can you clarify and give some guidance for that? Because it's like subtle, but happening in a regular basis now.
Yeah, and it's horrible. You feel like you're from heaven to hell, and then back to heaven, and then back to hell. And so, first of all, when we feel a particular way in the body, we tend to evaluate that as evidence that we're doing well or doing not so well. So when the body feels good, this is it. I'm awake. I'm being it. When the body feels bad, I've lost it. And then the judgment and all of that starts. But can you, the awareness, be limited by a feeling or a phenomenon? Is any phenomenal evidence from the body, from the mind, from the emotions going to tell you anything about you? Is the awareness affected by anything like that? Can we reference a thought, an emotion, even a state in the body as being anything to do with you?
Well, I see that like I when I check, what I'm doing is I'm checking, oh, there is nobody here. So this is good.
The awareness remains unaffected by any phenomenon at all, right? If you look at the awareness right now that you are, it's not affected by anything.
No.
It's equally aware of the thought, I got it, I'm doing good, as it is of the thought, I lost it, I'm doing terrible. Awareness watches both of those thoughts. And those thoughts, I'm doing really good, produces a good feeling in the body. openness, lightness, peace, expansion. And I've lost it, produces this tightness, this contraction, and the judgment. But awareness is the same. So something feels closed or open, and it's going backwards and forwards. But awareness is here watching both of those. You're equally aware that you feel lost or awake, lost or awake. Awareness is even before those and not involved in them at all.
But then the sense of awake or being one is not true neither. It's part of the illusion.
Yes. Awareness has no sensation, no feeling, no phenomena. It has a reflection. When we recognize ourselves as awareness, the body feels generally lighter, peace, and eventually joy, love, all of those things. But we can't claim that as evidence, just like we don't claim the lost feeling, I've lost it. That's got nothing to do with you either. You are before and beyond both of those. They're like two states, right? Alternating states in the body mind. And you're the one watching those two states.
Then that made me think that, did I ever experience?
Say that again, sorry.
Yeah, that brings me the question, did I ever experience the self? Because now, even if that is an illusion, the I got it. Not this, yeah, the thought I got it, I see it's an illusion, but the state of
What is it that watches both of those states? It's not an experience, right? What is it that knows and sees them both? Right now, you might feel some sense of confusion or something, right? In the body and the mind.
yes.
But that which knows that confusion is never confused.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me about that which is never confused.
Yeah, it's that.
And it's not changing. So we could call it awareness or whatever. It's not changing. It's not alternating or fluctuating like these two states are. I got it. I lost it. This that you are is not fluctuating, is it?
It's hard to say. I don't know if I can state that.
Have a look at it and let's see. Is it form or formless, this real you? We can have a little exploration if you want.
It's formless, that's sure.
So does formlessness change?
No.
Can this formless you ever be caught or lost in illusion?
No.
Is it the one then that's saying, I lost it? What is that that's saying, I lost it then? Or I found it again?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the game of forms. Yeah.
It's the mind, right?
But I wonder if the mind comes to talk about, is the mind talking about the self? No, not even, no?
No. Mind is talking about attention. Here's you, the awareness. Here's mind just in front of it, and then the body, right?
Yes.
And attention is either looking at you, the awareness, or it goes to look at a thought or a feeling or a contraction in the body, something, some phenomena. When attention looks at phenomena, we say, I lost it. When attention looks back at you, awareness, we say, I found it again. But you're always here doing this, just being this. Attention is fluctuating backwards and forwards all the time. Mind says, I got it, I lost it. I got it, I lost it. So we're just coming to see this is what you are, this formless thing, no thingness that sees all of this, but is not involved in any of it. And
Yes.
it
So in meditation, what we do is just flipping of attention.
bringing attention back to that which is already free, seeing that which is always free. And we call it so many names: silence, stillness, consciousness. But it's formless and it's not suffering and it's never bound. It's aware of any state, any sensation, any phenomena, and not affected by any of them at all.
Yeah. Something says boring.
It looks kind of boring to the mind. I'm glad you said that, because my mind said that. It's just awareness. It's so dull. Really boring. But if the only thing it gave you was the recognition that you cannot suffer, it would be worth coming back to it again and again. But it will give you so much more. Even better than an experience of the self is being the self, the awareness, in which the body and mind are just happening and they're beautiful, but when they go, it's not really anything tragic, They're here for a while, you can enjoy them, express yourself through them, but they're not what you are. They're something you're playing with for a little while. And every time you notice what you really are, it's richer and fuller, and it becomes so full. It's really not boring. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we will go to Tatiana.
Hello. Thank you, Helen, for your sharing. Everything I would ask you just already was talking about with Miguel.
We can go through it again if you like. It's always good to go through it again and see it again. Or you can ask.
Okay. My situation is with my parents. About a year, I came back to their house to be with them because they're old. My mom is with Alzheimer, and I found that it's easier to stay as awareness and just feel this emptiness and silence when I'm alone. But since I came back to live with them, so 24/7, I have this sense to be a person, because even to hear their voices, it triggers me and feelings, and the sense that I am his daughter and I'm here to take care of them, and the worry with the future, like the disease will evolve. And I mean, the sense of person is so heavy. And when I'm, as he was talking about, when as I recognize who I am, really, it's this emptiness, this boring thing. Like, so what do I do? If there is no pleasure, there is no sense of happiness. It's just, I don't know.
it's very common. This I felt this same way. It was like I've done all this work just to realize awareness is what I am, and it just seems like nothing, and that it's just unimportant. It's there, but when the sense of being a person gets so heavy, then we're forced to look at awareness with, to come back to awareness. The reason that awareness doesn't seem so interesting is because we're looking at it through our thoughts about it. Mind says it's boring. There's no pleasure. There's no anything there, right? It's just
no purpose,
nothing going on, nothing happening. So if for a moment you can step away from thinking about awareness and just actually ask, what is awareness? We can all do this together. Like, I want to find out what it is, not assume that I know. Maybe I haven't seen it all. And I had to do this myself. Like, what is awareness? What happens when you ask that question? Stay with the question. What really is it? I thought I knew, but I really want to be open and see what it actually is. What is awareness? Deeply curious now, actually. What if I've missed the most important thing? What actually is this? What is awareness? And the answers aren't so important, but the question is very important. It will take you deeper into an experience of what you really are, what it actually is, awareness. Like we've only touched the surface of what it is. What really is it? What is awareness? How are you feeling now?
peaceful, literally it's silent.
So when we think about awareness, it feels boring and dull and flat. When we actually ask to experience what it really is, what we are, even after just a minute or two, we start to feel peaceful, silent. Imagine what happens if you stay with that question for 10 minutes. And I discovered awareness. Awareness is just a word for something that is beyond description. And from this discovery, infinite peace, joy, love, freedom, infinite abundance. But we have to go underneath the surface of that, right? The thought about awareness. We have to dive deeper. And the question does that. Like real curiosity. I want to know. I want to really see what the sages have seen. I want to experience it. Thinking about awareness is stealing from ourselves. Actually asking what it is, or silence, or consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And you know, I never found a bottom, like diving down into the ocean, the depths of the ocean with this question. Never have found the bottom even yet. Every time I ask this question or ask what I am, same thing, I experience myself even more profoundly, deeply than before. Even more love, even more joy, even more peace, even more beauty. It never ends. You could spend your whole rest of your lifetime exploring this and it would only deepen. Every day better than the previous one. Just by taking 5 or 10 minutes to really, each day, when you can, just to really explore this. What actually is it? You can feel the difference, right? Your body's going, yeah, there's something here, right? There's something to explore here.
Yeah. I just say always to trust that from this, a new life will unfold. I don't need to worry what to do next, nothing. Just to allow it, whatever comes, any movement, any decision.
Yeah. Everything is met from awareness then, as awareness, as the ocean itself, not a wave on the ocean surface. Totally different. Same world, but a totally different experience of it. Seeing the love and the beauty and seeing awareness appearing as everyone and everything you meet. Utterly in love with everything you see and experience. It's a journey of discovery and delight and awe, rather than just trying to get through the day like most of us have been doing, you know. So never lose this curiosity. Life taught me that the moment I think I know what awareness is, I begin to suffer again. It is truly endless. Infinite means infinite, right? Today, my experience of myself is better than it was yesterday, and tomorrow will be even better, and that will go on forever. It can never be less than it was. So it's worth investing a little bit of time. And for me, the recognition was that I'd never really met awareness, only my thoughts about it. If I wasn't feeling the same way the sages felt when they were being this awareness, then I was missing something, right? Maybe I hadn't looked closely enough with curiosity. Mind goes, oh, not another question to ask. But it's not like that, right? It's fun, it's delightful, it's delicious. Restful, peaceful, all of that. And your whole day goes differently if you ask this question in the morning. Your whole day, you'll just glide through it, no matter how busy it is. You can kind of feel it, right? Even just after a few moments.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, that seems like a good place to leave it for now. Thank you. Namaste, and a huge thank you to Pilar and Olga for translating. Thank you. Stop.